Hello, I am Daniel Borsati, and I have chosen to record this video to inform the people of my experiences dealing with our United States government and how they unlawfully arrested, charged, prosecuted, and detained me as a political prisoner in the Los Angeles Men's County Jail. This was from August 2015 through January 6, 2016. What I say is the complete truth. However, there are many people who cannot handle the truth. It was on February 7, 2015, when I was unlawfully detained, arrested, and charged by the CHP officer Chris Smith, badge number 18580, who works out of the Woodland Hills, California Highway Patrol Office, Michael Sheehan from the City Attorney's Office, and others who were all involved in what we are calling a conspiracy to commit sedition against one of the people and is nothing less than draconian. There are a few reasons why this is an unlawful arrest against one of the people. First of all, is that I was charged with obstruction of justice for failure to roll my window all the way down to the bottom of the track, regardless of the hostile actions by the peace officer Chris Smith, who was completely out of control. 2. One of the important questions raised is, did the peace officer's actions warrant an arrest, charges, and unlawful detention? Or was this an all-out assault against one of the people for his spiritual, personal, and lifestyle beliefs? We want the people to decide and to uncover the truth. Thirdly, the original reason for the traffic stop was only speeding. And then, moments later, after the officer damaged the car and threatened me, detained and arrested on charges of Penal Code 148(1)A, which is obstruction of justice. This was the underlying reason, truly, for failure to roll one's window down at a traffic stop. Fourthly, after searching every law book to date and talking to many legally inclined individuals, we have come to the conclusions that there is no law stating about the window. Fifthly, actually, there are many occasions that peace officers nationwide, attorneys, and our local media tell the public, if we fear for our life or we are unsure of whether an officer is legitimate, for us to go to a lighted and well-occupied area and lock our doors and only crack one window enough to slide documents through when asked for them. What happened following the stop was a fabricated assault on the character and trespass against one of the people. If the constitutional protective rights of the people are not examined, then we can presume the government is attempting to overthrow the de jure, which means by the right according to law of the California Republic and the United States of America. I realize that these accusations are very serious and need the people to help receive justice in these matters. Once I was in custody of the highway patrol officers, I was roughed up regardless of my willingness to follow all arresting instructions. Then, later on, the city attorney's office became involved and added many lies in an attempt to unlawfully charge me. The questions for the public are, does a man have a right to pull over to a safe place, especially when an officer shows extreme aggression by smashing his SUV on the rear left side panel and, at the same time, screaming profanity at a member of the public who is being pulled over for a basic traffic stop and he wasn't even in commerce. Commerce is an interchange of goods and commodities or under the jurisdiction of the government. And we'll get into that a little later. Once I was pulled over, I did it in an area that I felt was a safe place. This was at a Coco's restaurant in Mission Hills, California. Once stopped, the officer came over to the window and continued to give hostile instructions to me. Because of the actions of the officer, I continued to express my fear. Another question is imminent. Does a man or woman have a right to be in fear of an officer? And if so, to what extent does the public have rights to make certain they are safe? Furthermore, there were many lies made up about me by multiple officers, city attorneys, presiding commissioners, judges, with assistance of members of the Public Defender's Office to help secure unlawful charges, prosecution, and a guilty verdict against me. Some of the lies will be stated as follows. The officer stated he asked me for all my documents, and he never once asked for any information from me, such as the piece of plastic the state calls the driver's license. This goes into, is it a privilege to drive or do something versus a right to travel? He never asked for insurance, no registration. Aren't these the basics of every traffic stop, whether speeding, a faulty taillight, or running a red light? License, registration, and insurance, please. That's usually what we hear. Not on that day. The impeachment of this officer should have been imminent. And more disturbing facts of this matter is the officer lied on the witness stand, not once, multiple times, about what truly happened compared to what did happen. Impeaching himself. Now I thought that it was fortunate for me that the entire incident was caught on a video and audio tape. However, the judge withheld crucial evidence and witnesses from testifying on my behalf. The prosecutors and the CHP officers stated that I resisted arrest. The recording proves the opposite. I not only complied, I was forcibly removed out of my car by two officers, and after I had already been handcuffed, they wrenched my arms, which caused me injuries. The continuous abuse of my constitutional protective rights were when the peace officer, Chris Smith, began to unlawfully search my body and car without my consent, without reading the Miranda rights, which are rights given to a person by peace officers to avoid self-incrimination, and they did it without a search warrant. Next, the two officers conspired to steal my money from my pocket, and then, while unlawfully searching my car, they were caught on tape taking my money. When my money was finally returned to me, I was missing a little over $200. After I had been placed in a squad car, and, as most discerning, some of the officers on the scene expressed that they were trained to deal with people like me, referring to my lifestyle. Now, many people who have heard this by the witnesses do not fully know what the comments mean, and we all have our notions of them being prejudicial statements. And we encourage you to subscribe below or make a comment. You know, it's all about creating value for our society. And we're only going to be able to do it if we all band together. And we need to do it one step at a time. So stay tuned.